Yo! Sirius Satellite, this is the Hogan family, my beautiful wife, Linda, my son, Nick, my beautiful daughter, Brooke, and I'm Hulk Hogan, the greatest of all time, Howard Stern. We're here to promote our brand new show. No, it's our second season of Linda Hogan Knows Best. Also, we're here to talk about my son, Nick, just signed by Mopar, 15 years old. He'll be the youngest pro driver ever driving a Viper. And my daughter, Brooke, thank God, after 4 years, just gets signed by Scott Storch and Cecil Barker down in Miami. But anyway, we're here at the Sirius building. This is the first time we've been here on Howard's show. He's a good friend of our boy Bubba down in Tampa. And all I gotta say, guys, what you gonna do when Howard Stern runs wild on you, brother?
Hulk Hogan's here. His daughter, lovely daughter, Brooke. Hulk's really into getting his daughter record, deals, and he really supports his daughter, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but, he's putting her out into a business where, it's all about sex.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Come on in, baby.
Oh, I didn't realize she was that tall.
Lose your dad. We'll have some fun. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
She's taller than Hulk.
Come on, Hulk. Come on back. Don't go. Don't leave. Don't leave. Sit down. Come on, man.
Hulk couldn't even open that door.
I know. Now I don't feel so bad.
Not only can't I open that door, Hulk Hogan can't open that door.
Yeah,
you couldn't even get out of here if you wanted to. How are you, man? Come on,
great,
sit down,
brother.
Brooke.
Hi.
How you doing, baby?
How are you?
It's good to see you guys.
It's nice to see you, too. This is awesome.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful here? This is some setup.
This is cool.
We got a good setup. By the way, I always hear you on Bubba's show.
There you go.
And it's, I know you're good friends with Bubba. And
First off, I'm glad you guys finally made peace.
Right.
Because I remember a few years ago, it was like World War III with you guys.
It wasn't with me. He was...
He's trying to climb the ladder, brother,
Yeah. But when I first met Bubba, he goes, oh, man, our war and this and that. And I went, Bubba.
You were in a war by yourself.
Tell me what the war is about. I don't even know.
Even when I did a show, I said, I remember being in a room with you once and you screaming and carrying on.
Yeah, well, I met... one time I heard Bubba, because Bubba was on in the South.
Yeah.
And then he came to Hartford. And he went on the radio, and I was working out in my gym, and I had it was a rock station, and then I heard Bubba screaming about how I suck. And I went, I wish this guy would shut his yap. I'm trying to work out. You know what I mean?
It's hard to work out till you suck.
And then there were like songs about how I suck and this and that, and I went, geez, I don't know. I guess I'm in a war with this guy.
Yeah.
And Bubba goes, you drive me crazy when you say you didn't know what I was doing. I go, I didn't.
But remember, we happened to be in one of those Grammy shows once, and our tables weren't far apart from each other, and he kept trying to mix it up.
Are you sure, Robin? I don't remember ever seeing him.
I remember being in a room with him, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it happened. Because I was like, what's a love sponge?
The last time you were on Bubba's show.
Right.
It sounded like you're totally annoyed by it. He keeps trying to get you to go to his house and stay there. And you were
he wants you. He begs you to come to his house.
He really is in love with you, isn't he?
Well, my wife says we're a couple homos. But the truth is, once you get to know Bubba, which I'm sure you will, he's one of the greatest people. I mean,
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that I figured when you guys finally teamed up, you'd be invincible, and now there's nobody that's going to have a chance with you guys teamed up.
Yeah,
so
thank
really
you.
Cool.
We are loving being on the same team.
It's been a great association.
That's the nice thing about this satellite thing, where I'm actually able to hook up with other guys who have talent and promote them. They can promote me. It's great. It's like you got a little family going here,
Yeah, we're looking for some more people.
Yeah. Now, Brooke, I watched the show. I'm a fan of the. You know what it is? That microphone isn't right. Yeah, fix that.
Oh, on him.
Yeah, let me hear. Give me a testing.
Yes, sir. 3, 2, 1.
Better. These microphones
They
are
still give you a lot of room noise and all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, everybody writes me letters and says, Howard, all you do is whine about the room noise, so just shut up. We don't hear it.
Yeah, I guess we're the only ones who hear it.
That's right.
We'll be quiet.
Hulk, I mean, I guess it's admirable that you love your daughter so much you want her to be successful, but you're obsessed with her success. You are obsessed. I mean, I've never seen a dad like this.
He loves me.
No, I think he's bored.
No, I was raised by the wrestling business.
Right.
And, all I can speak of is my generation of wrestlers. I know what a bunch of perverts they were, growing up. And so, when we were growing up in Tampa, and, all we would think about was the young girls and the booty call, and that's where the mindset is. I mean,
it's normal.
My son Nick is like the eyes in the back of my head, and Nick kind of brings me up to speed with what's going on and what everybody's agenda is. So, I mean, there is a real threat there, and sometimes these girls are, and I don't mean you especially, Brooke, but I do, sometimes they're a little naive and easily influenced. So I just want to make sure that until she really gets
At what point
Well,
do you
what does that
think...
have to do with her career? You just said he's obsessed with her career.
He is. He wants her to be successful at singing very, very badly. You almost want it more than Brooke.
Well,
You
I
do.
mean, you know, she quit school and started homeschooling for this stuff. We
She
pretty
did?
much.
You're teaching her?
I got my
no.
GED,
You
and I
did?
passed with a 12th grade level.
All right.
It's a situation after 4.5 years. We went through the Lou Pearlman camp.
Right.
Then we spent about a year with Brittany's old manager, Larry Rudolph, and he.
But
tried
why
to
do
help
you
us.
care if she has... Let's say her career doesn't take off musically, and she finds some other passion in life. What do you care?
No, that's fine. But
Right.
right now, she's obsessed, and it's in her soul. She wants this so bad. I mean, that's all she can think about. That's all we direct. Well, Nick has a problem too. He wants to be a race car driver. He's
Right.
only 15. He just gets signed by Mopar. So
You're going to
thank
let him
God.
do that?
Yes, but it's drifting, the sliding
He's
sideways.
really good at it,
But aren't you
actually.
worried about him
Yes.
getting killed?
Definitely. But instead of going 200 miles an hour in a straight line, like the Fast and Furious movie that's coming out this summer, it's all about sliding sideways with style. And
Like doing stunts or something?
All right,
almost.
when is Brooke going to be old enough that you finally stop? You put a GPS tracking device on her car so that you could follow her around. You're so worried about your daughter, and she's a beautiful girl, don't get me wrong, and you don't look 17. That's
Thank
another
you.
problem we got.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's true.
Yeah, you
Thank
look
you.
like
I
you're
would
25.
never guess she was
I
17.
mean, you walk into a bar, I'm serving you. You know what I mean? You do not
Thank
look
you.
17.
No, don't thank him for that.
Yeah.
No, I think
Thank your
that's
father
cool.
for that.
Hey, I'll be 18 in 2 months.
Oh,
That's
God.
what
Oh,
everybody
no.
You're in trouble.
But Hulk, on some level, you know, your daughter's been sexual. She's.
What?
You have.
oh, please.
No, actually, I haven't.
Hold it a second.
You know, if
You've
if
had
you guys,
boyfriends.
Let me tell you something right
Go
now.
ahead, go ahead.
If you guys want to talk about this crap, I'm
Well,
going to leave.
What are you talking about? We're not talking
I
crap.
trust you. I would rather leave. I don't even want to hear this.
But wait a second.
If
You-
she says she's had sex, I don't want to hear it.
I haven't, though.
But she's saying she hasn't.
Okay,
I'm a
I'll stay
virgin.
there.
But
Then
at
you
what
can
age
stay.
are you going to be able to handle her saying, "Dad, I'm sexually active"?
I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at.
How old were you when you first had sex?
Like I said, I'm getting better at being open-minded.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I understand. Listen, it's your little girl. You
Right,
don't,
right.
But let's be realistic.
Right,
She's
okay.
pretty. Kids today, around 17, 18, they experiment. You know, I don't know how far you've
What?
gone sexually, and it would embarrass your father to know. But you've
This is
certainly
not
had
a
boyfriends.
conversation you could have with your daughter.
I could. I've had this conversation with my
Wait a
daughters.
minute.
It's not
you
easy.
said to them, how far have you gone?
I haven't put it like that, but I have talked.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
If
Yeah.
they're comfortable talking to me about it, I'll talk to them about sex. I know if they've been. You know, we don't get into graphic detail. It's tough. It's embarrassing.
Well, I'm
But I
here
know-
on the Howard Stern show, and I'm going to come out. I'm a virgin.
You are.
Full-blown virgin.
Wow.
Full blown.
Full blown?
Because there's all kinds of virgins these days
Right.
who are very active.
Yeah.
I've
like
only
Hulk
heard
Stern.
one kind.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad.
Dad, come on, wake up. Listen, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Robin's right. I saw some show. I forget what it was. It was a great joke. They said to the girl, "Do you need virginal white or off-white
Have
for
you,
your wedding dress?" And she said, "Well, maybe off-white for just the gloves."
you were dating this guy, Aaron Carter, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And your
For
dad-
like 2 minutes.
And your dad threw him right the hell out of the house. You
And
didn't-
I completely agree with doing that because that kid was, bad news.
Bad news.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
were you with him?
Because I was like 14 at the time, and it was Aaron Carter.
14 and you let her date Aaron Carter?
I didn't even date him. I just hung around him like for 2 times.
Yeah. But you have boyfriends, right?
No, actually. My dad is just kind of letting me date a little bit right now.
Wow. Man, I don't know how you're getting away with that.
She's got a guy named Jerry in Detroit that she's real good friends with. And, they talk on the phone a couple times a week. He's been down to Florida because he's in the music business, and they're just friends.
Aren't you afraid, though, because you're such a strict father? You really keep tight controls here. Your daughter is going to, at one point, rebel.
I
And
don't
say,
think so.
Really?
I don't think so. I think what's
I
going to
do.
happen is, you've got two ends of the spectrum here. So far, the worst end of the spectrum, having sex when you're 10 years old, hasn't happened.
That's right. You got
I
past
pray
that.
to God.
Yeah.
The other end of the spectrum is you wait till you're married.
Or 60.
Oh, no, you wait till you're married and you have sex with your husband. From that point backwards, even from today on, if something was to happen, if she had sex with somebody, if something was to happen, she had sex 2 months from now, I'm not going to totally flip out, but I'm not. Nothing's going to change. I'm going to love her to death. It's going to be a
Right.
choice that she makes, and You know,
Oh,
hopefully she
man.
doesn't,
Are
catch
you
AIDS or
afraid
something.
she'll
'cause-
be like Britney Spears and all of a
Yes.
sudden she'll just, just have to get married to somebody?
You're thinking the same thing
you
I
guys,
am.
You guys got me sweating. This is
No,
weird.
can I
what?
tell you
You know
something?
what?
Can I say something? Let me just say something. Perfect example of this kind of thing. Jessica Simpson. Virgin when she married Nick Lachey. Probably married him way too quick because she was like, her father was like, you got to be a virgin, you got to be a virgin. She marries the guy because she was probably dying for sex. She's 20-something years old at that point. Completely naive going into the marriage because she just had to have it.
Right, this is going to be the fairy tale.
What I worry about Brooke is she probably needs, and don't take this the wrong way because you'll beat my ass, but she probably does need to experience a few men. Maybe not today, but maybe in a year or so, But otherwise, she might go the I'm going to get married too young route just to please my dad.
And the next thing you know, you got K-Fed living with you.
Yeah,
Well,
then
you know what? My dad isn't that strict to a point where he wants me to be like an Amish person, But
yes, he does.
he does. He wishes that could happen, but he's pretty cool, and he raised me the right way. And when I grow up and stuff, I'm going to be a smart girl. And
Are there
he doesn't have to
lines that
worry.
you draw, Brooke, that that okay, I can go this far with a guy without offending my father, like petting or something like that?
Petting.
I don't want to offend your father, feeling up or whatever.
You know what? I'm a teenager, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I haven't like kissed guys and stuff, and I am a virgin sex wise.
Well,
all right.
I wonder what
You
that
say
really means.
so.
If your dad wasn't in the room, I would question what's going on
My
there.
dad knows I've kissed guys.
I would.
Please.
Any
all
further
right.
than that?
Let's
He's-
say this.
He's a mature adult.
Will you go
He
any
can
further
handle
than
that.
kissing?
I don't know. I don't know.
See,
I don't know.
Hulkster's
Oh, my
already
God.
freaking out.
Because I was going to say, are your hands virgin? Are your... Yeah, never mind.
Oh my gosh! Now we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, you know what? It is tough for a dad.
It is.
Nah,
It is my
nah.
dad, but you know what? He raised me good.
But
He
by
doesn't
the
have to
same
worry.
token, you want your son to have every experience,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you? You
Oh,
want your
man.
son to be
Oh,
out
yeah.
there
Oh,
He's
Nick-
like, "Come on,
Nick's-
Nick. Here's a girl."
Dude,
making notches.
This is crazy. I'm starting to worry about Nick. He is this crazy player at 15. We
Is
actually...
he getting laid?
You can ask him. He's right outside. I'm not
Where
gonna-
is he? You don't mind if I ask
let,
him?
Let me tell you something right now.
See,
we've
that's
been
funny.
doing a lot of music in South Beach with this guy, Scott Storch, and Cecil Barker, his partner. They actually, thank God, finally signed Brooke, which is really cool.
He's your
But in
son.
the South Beach, Nick knows all these people that run the clubs and stuff. And he's
Nick's a
made
good-looking
friends with
kid.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Nick, you're getting laid, right?
Let's talk about race cars.
Come on. Talk to me. You are,
I
right?
know the answer.
Number one, your dad's rich. You got a lot of money. You're a good-looking kid.
You're
There's no
out there in
question.
the circuit.
You're in shape. Your old man knows how to train you and all that.
You got a big diamond cross. That's got to get you.
That's got to get you laid. You're 15. I guarantee you've already slept with chicks. Guarantee it. Say it right now. Have you or haven't you?
You got a big imagination, Howard.
You haven't slept with a girl yet?
I'm not saying anything.
That means that's a yes. And look at the old man smiling.
Man.
He's smiling.
He doesn't care if you pork half the country. God forbid somebody touch Brooke.
Dude, we went down to Key West for an episode. It was a little vacation, and these little golf carts you're not supposed to drive unless you have a driver's license. His mother let him take one cruising Duval Street. When we came back, it was spring break. We had two suites that were side by side. He must have had 15 girls in the bed with him.
In the bed.
In the bed.
In the bed.
In the bed.
The bed.
When I came home about 11 o'clock at night.
Let me ask you something, man to man. You think you're jealous of your son in some ways? I mean, you got married very young.
I did?
Didn't you? How old were you
No,
when you
I
got
was
married?
like 27 years old.
That's young to me, man. And you hit big in the WWF at that time.
Brother,
Tons of women.
let me tell you something. When I did Rocky 3, Stallone was single.
Right.
And we were running pretty hard back then.
Hey, you got to be dreaming of those days. When you see your son out there with 15 girls in the bed.
Yeah, your son's at a 15-on-1 already.
Don't sometimes you just
Yeah, Nikki.
yeah, don't you sometimes just want to ram his head into the wall and go, listen, punk, let your old man in here. I mean, I know you love your wife and all that stuff, but I mean, come on. This has got to be killing you. This is killing you.
Well, he's got it, on both sides. He might want to do that, and he might be given, but he's got a daughter.
I got to say, I wish the kids weren't here, but Linda, my wife, we've been married for 22 years, and she's pretty wild.
You get
Oh, Dad, come
you
on.
get
It's
you
true.
get you get a lot.
She's
You guys still are hot and heavy.
she's
Have
You
the
should-
kids?
you
Have
should
your
see her
kids ever
boobs.
walked in on them?
I have.
Brooke
You
has.
have.
I have.
Oh, God.
What'd you say?
Hey,
Okay,
one
this is
time-
the
Oh, my
Howard Stern
God.
show. Come on.
You guys left the
What was-
intercom on one time.
I was like, I gotta say this. You can handle it. You're an adult. Everybody knows you have kids, and it had to happen.
They said they were
I'm
wrestling.
drenched. I am drenched in sweat
I was
right now.
5 years old, and I
I'm
came.
drenched.
Five.
And, yeah, I used to sleep in my parents' bed, right? So then they would like sneak out and go into my room. And I was like, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, where's my mom? You know, so I came into my room, and all of a sudden I'm like, Mom, Dad, I saw it.
You saw it.
And I was like, I kind of knew what was going on, but I didn't really.
Did you think Daddy was hurting Mommy?
I did, and Mom's like, don't worry, we're just wrestling and stuff. And then
Just wrestling. We're practicing some moves.
right. So then she
I taught Dad everything he knows.
So then she held my hand and went down to the kitchen. The whole time I was like looking at my hand. I'm like, ew.
Wow. You know what would have been great? You walk in the room and your dad's like in a dress. That would have been great. Mommy, why was Daddy in a dress?
Now, you say they left the intercom on, Nick.
Yeah.
What did you hear?
Were they very noisy?
Well, Brooke.
Yes.
Yes. Boy,
there's
he
a
gives it to her
phone-
good.
Our phone system in our house has like an intercom.
Right.
You can like, it's like a microphone in both sides of the room, and like Brooke's room had it
killing
on.
me.
Because me and Brooke's room are on a different side of the house
Right.
than their room.
Right.
So we wouldn't hear them if the
And-
intercom was.
Right. So sometimes they'll put the intercom on just to make
Linda!
sure, like, they make sure, like no one breaks into the house over an
Right.
arm. And one time Brooke comes into my room and she's like, Nick, come here. And the intercom was on. It was hilarious.
And you heard the whole thing. And was your mom very loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom, and you know what?
Brooke just let me know what was going on,
The
and then
thing
she
is,
shut off the intercom.
I was like, I think Mom and Dad are having sex. But the thing was, I couldn't shut off the intercom because it was going through the whole house. It was going through the whole house. So like, wow. So everywhere
Where's
you
Mom
walk,
at?
if you tried to get away
your
from it,
mother
it was
here.
still going on.
Wow.
Where's Mom?
Linda!
Wow, this is something else.
It was like
Oh, this
he was
sucks.
doing the
Mom's
Superfly
listening.
snooker.
I
You
can't
didn't
believe
know
it.
that you had been heard?
So are you? There's Mommy.
There's the beautiful Linda.
Hey.
Hey, Mom.
Mom,
I
look
hear-
at how big her boobs are.
I know. Did you get implants? Did you make them that big, or are those natural?
I?
Yeah.
No,
Good.
let's see.
Wait, I think we're going to see them.
Oh.
That's great.
Oh.
Wow.
No, they're not real.
Wow.
Not real?
No, Beverly Hills.
Nice boobs.
Listen, I'm married to the Hulk. Everything's got to be big.
You and the Hulk get it on. I know the kids are here, but they can handle it. You and
Well,
the
they've
Hulk.
heard you.
You and the Hulk get it
Yeah.
on how many times a week?
Don't touch me.
Well, he wants it all the time.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
with
God.
the schedule and everything, there's times where I'm just too damn tired. But, I have to say one thing.
Yeah.
We wouldn't stay married for 22 years if he sucked in bed, so.
Yeah, he knows what he's
good.
doing. He can deliver it. He's a big man.
He's sexy.
I think it's funny when I watch the reality show when Bubba does come over because, Bubba looks very small next to you. And I know you're training him and trying to get him in shape. And I always think it's funny that Bubba thinks he's thin now.
And he's showing his arms.
And he's showing his arms and his guns.
Well, the thing
Like
is,
this.
Yeah.
no, the thing is, Bubba does have very big arms.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen. His arms are huge.
He loves to wear the shirts where you can see his
and
arms.
When I met him, I hated him
Right.
because he was down in Florida on some pop station, but he was really, really dirty. This was before I knew what this type of radio was about, and it was
Right.
like on our local station. And when I met him, he was 498 pounds.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was like he was getting ready to die. He was so heavy. And we became friends, and I found out, that he was a pretty good guy, and then we got to be real close friends. And I said, man, brother, if you don't get in shape, you're gonna
pass out.
dead.
Yeah.
So he's actually lost like 250 pounds in the last 9 or 10 years.
Thanks to
But
you.
he still doesn't
Yeah.
belong in a muscle shirt.
Right. You got to tell him.
I
No
don't know.
muscle shirt.
He's in pretty good shape now. I mean,
He's definitely healthier than he was
He's-
before. When I first met him, it was at State Fair in Tampa, and he was standing in the sidelines, and I thought he was just a huge, big, fat fan of Hulk Hogan. And I kind of was like, who is this
Poor
guy?
Bubba.
He's like trying to be all friendly and stuff.
So he's really
he was a huge fan. He really was.
Because this is Bubba's one big celebrity friend,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And he really is.
but the truth is, Bubba, when he takes his shirt off and he's in a pair of board shorts, he looks good. He's in good shape now.
He's very muscular,
I'm telling
actually.
you,
You know.
he
yeah.
is.
Yeah, he gets a lot of girls.
Does look
He
good.
has a lot of girls.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's got
A lot.
He's got.
Hulk, does that drive you crazy? Seriously, I listen. I know you love your wife. I know, and I hear you give it to him good. The kids even know it. It's very hard to be
Man.
as famous as Hulk Hogan. There are a lot of women around. There's a lot of temptation.
The truth is,
Go ahead. Tell the truth.
I've got, I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm very ball-headed,
So what?
And everybody sees me on TV ball-headed. And there's only, like, certain types of girls that are attracted to me.
No, you're changing the subject. See, he's switching the heat, Howard.
No,
Don't you
there are.
want? Do you want if your
turn
wife
on
would
by
give
other
you?
women?
I'm going to ask your wife to
ask
give
my
you a
kids.
free pass right now for one sexual experience.
Before we go there, ask my kids what type of women are attracted to me.
First of all, you're forgetting. In Florida, you are Brad Pitt. Who else is there? Not
He's
that many.
the Brad Pitt of Tampa.
See, everybody knows about Florida, honey.
Yeah, Florida's a whole other
Florida's
deal.
finest.
So let me understand something here. The WWE. I remember for a while you and Vince McMahon hated each other's guts.
Right.
He wouldn't even let you have the name Hulk Hogan.
Right.
You were
Hollywood Hogan.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he owned your name. And now it seems like you're okay with him again.
Yeah.
But what the hell happened all those years?
Well, I used to work for Vince's dad.
Right.
He passed away. I got fired there because when I worked for Vince's dad, I had a chance to do a Rocky movie. I went and told Vince Sr. I want to do this movie. He says, you're a wrestler, not an actor. They didn't have that crossover mentality. If you do the movie, you're fired. You'll never work here again. So
Wow.
I was gone.
You
I
were
left-
doing the movie. You
Right,
said that it's too
exactly.
big an opportunity.
Exactly. Then
Right.
I got my next call for a movie 10 years later, so it was a great move. Anyway, then I wrestled Minnesota and Japan. Then I started getting a big name, and they called me. Vince Jr., who's on TV now.
Right.
We made a deal. I went back.
You don't like him, do you?
I do like Vince.
You do?
I do like Vince.
Okay.
I went back. We had about a 10 or 12 years run. Then the steroid controversy hit.
Yeah. Now, what is the steroid controversy? In order to get to be your size, you got to do steroids, right?
Not this size. This is how much I weighed in ninth grade. 285
But I'm saying
pounds.
for a while,
But when I was 330, 340,
You had to do
you had
them.
to do them, right?
Right.
Okay. So anyway,
What
Now,
is
what
the
was
big
the
deal with that?
controversy?
Yeah, what's the
the
controversy?
controversy was the federal government thought Vince was a pusher, that Vince was distributing steroids to all of his wrestlers, and he wasn't.
Right. You did your thing. You wanted to be big.
You could go to a doctor and get them legally. I mean, everybody was doing them. It
He
wasn't
didn't
a big
have to
deal.
push him.
Yeah, in
no,
fact,
he didn't have to. Everybody was on him. Every athlete in the world.
In fact, Bubba was telling me, listen, your physical appearance is very important. In a sense, your size and your muscles.
Well, it made you what you
That's right.
could be, the Hulk.
And Bubba said to me that when he goes on TV now, he shaves his arm because you taught him to shave his arms and shave his butthole. That's what he told him.
I didn't teach
came
Bubba
here-
how to shave his butthole.
He
didn't?
came here to
No,
do a
that's-
roast Hulk, and he had shaved down because you told him he was going to be on Tucker Carlson of all people. He shaved for that.
Well, you look
better.
bigger and more defined if you don't have a bunch of hair on you.
What do? You shave with a razor? You shave
razor, yeah.
You do.
One little baby razor.
And Bubba claims he shaves his balls and shaves his whole pubic area and
His
shaves
balls.
And he said you taught him that you're supposed to do that.
You taught him to put
God.
a razor. You taught him to put a razor
You
on
guys
his
are
stick.
brutal.
He said you taught him how to put a razor on his stick and shave between his balls.
Shave his back.
Oh, his back.
Not his
Yeah,
balls.
he does that to shave his back. But
Yeah.
I think Bubba at the time might have been
Does the Hulkster shave his balls?
On a
hard to
stick.
reach around areas.
Does he shave his pubic area? The Hulkster?
Can I answer that?
You say whatever you want. At this point, who cares?
Let's just say he's pretty clean cut.
He is. So how do you get that area? There's a lot of grit back there for me too.
You just don't put the shaving cream on there and go for it.
What do you do?
You put the shaving cream on and let it set for a while.
Okay.
Like 15 or 20 minutes. So
What do you
don't-
do for the 20 minutes while the shaving cream is setting
Yeah,
in
where
there?
do you go?
Shave something else. Shave your arm, shave your back, shave your legs.
You
It's not like you
barbecue.
can go sit down.
There's a lot of standing in the shower.
And you
here.
take a razor and put it in the butt
No, not my butt.
under the balls.
Well, look, if I'll cut my head open with a razor blade, I'll probably cut everything else. So
I tell you, man, you guys got guts. I can't shave butt
Wow.
down there. That would just itch, and I get bat wings. I can't do it. I'll be honest with you, I can't do that.
You're not completely clean, are you? You just trim in certain areas, don't you?
I get the feeling the
Right.
Hulkster's saying he's clean down there,
No.
clean as a baby.
Not like a wax.
No, he's trimmed.
Kind of like a little goatee mustache effect.
You like it, though.
I like it.
Oh my God, Mom! Dad has a mustache down
All I
there.
know is,
Let's just put it this way. I've got 2 Fu Manchus.
all I know is your son looks like he wants to throw up from this.
Really?
You're not shaving down there, are you? The Hulkster's not teaching you any of that stuff, is he?
He's only teaching Bubba.
He's only teaching.
I was
Bubba.
going to say he's upset.
Wow.
Bubba's getting the grooming advice.
Yeah, why don't you take your son under your wing and teach him how to shave? Have a shaving party.
I think Nick's doing fine.
Anyway, Vince and I are friends.
So Vince and you are friends,
Right.
and so most of the guys to get that size have to shoot some juice. What do? You shoot that stuff in your ass? I should have been on that. I'm a skinny
Are you shooting
pencil neck
yourself?
geek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, I mean, they had the pills like Dianabol and Winstrol or whatever, and then they had the injectable stuff, and everybody said at the time, and you all can laugh at me if you want, but the mentality back then was that steroids are safer than sugar.
Right, they were. No, that's what they said.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, you put on 90 pounds 1 year, right? Pure muscle.
Couple years.
Wow.
But you'd have to take the needle and...
Yeah.
Wow.
I think in the beginning, though, in the gold gym days back in the 70s, it was a thing that a lot of the bodybuilders did.
Yeah.
But with the wrestlers, it becomes a thing where because there's so many injuries, they basically really needed them for medical purposes. I mean, they have so many torn ligaments and
You
muscles
better be
and
big.
whatnot. It heals you fast.
But the thing that is the most insulting of all to me is that all of a sudden, now the baseball players are under scrutiny. I mean, my God, they've been doing it for 20 years. All of a sudden,
all athletes.
now the baseball.
Now the
It's
rest of the world's
insulting that
smart enough to it.
football and wrestling, but now all of a sudden the baseball players.
Everybody looked the other way.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Because more home runs are being hit. Guys are bigger and stronger, and they
But
look
what
the
do
other
you
way.
think of that baseball controversy? Do you think a guy's records don't matter as much if he was on steroids?
You know what? During that time when these guys were hitting all these home runs, probably 80% of the guys were doing it with them. So that was what it was back then, and this is what it is now. I mean, probably now they can only catch half of the guys. So I mean, you can't change everything just because it was different then.
So what do you think? Do you think that in baseball they should go completely steroid free, or just let the guys do their thing?
Well, it's different because they need to make a decision because wrestling is not a competition.
Right.
Wrestling is entertainment. It's an exhibition. Some guys might make millions of dollars being skinny and pulling a little toy to the ring, as their gimmick. Some guys can be big and fat and make millions of dollars. Wrestling's different than any other sport because it is a controlled situation and there's a predetermined ending.
Right.
But when there's a real competition.
there is?
Oh, Artie, you better wake up.
I like Artie.
Yeah.
I like Artie. Yeah.
Sorry, Artie.
God damn it!
But I think
you ruined it for him.
Exactly.
I think if there's a competition, like football or baseball, forget boxing. That's like wrestling. But anyway, if there's a real competition like the Olympics where you're trying to find out who the best athlete is, they need to make a decision. Either they're all on it or they're all off.
Right. It's got to be one way or the other.
One way or the other.
I never realized how rich you were from wrestling.
he's
When
loaded.
I watched the show on VH1, I should plug that. Hulk
Thank
Hogan.
you. This Sunday.
The Hogans. It's a good show. It premieres this Sunday at 10 o'clock on VH1. I was shocked to see how wealthy you were. Now, I was reading, like, 1 year you were making like $14, $15 million just from wrestling, right?
Really?
I had a bunch of years like that.
Yeah, so I mean, you've socked away enough dough. You don't ever have to work again.
Well, what the truth was when we had the blow up with the steroid thing and Vince and I parted ways, I did a TV series and some movies for a couple years. Then Ted Turner approached me.
Yeah.
And we went down south, and a lot of the big wrestlers came with us, and we had probably 5 or 6 really, really big years down there.
Right. And so the fact of the matter is you made a lot of dough. It's FU money. I mean, you don't have to work again.
Well, I don't want to sit around in my rocking chair, but I'm having fun now with my family.
Right.
Because it's really cool instead of just being gone by myself. That I've drugged them into this mosh pit,
Do you miss wrestling at all?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Well, that's what I was going to ask because it
still do
seems
it.
to me that you're in and out of wrestling all the time right now.
I wrestled in August, the end of August, against Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam, and then now this WrestleMania, I'm not really wrestling, but the night before the Hall of Fame, I'm inducting Mean Gene Okerlund in, the announcer.
You got a lot of friends? I'm talking about out of wrestling? I mean, like just people in the Florida area?
Bubba.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Bubba?
No, I've got a lot of friends.
You do?
Yeah, but like last year at WrestleMania when Stallone brought me into the Hall of Fame, I wasn't supposed to wrestle, but the next night I wound up in the ring, so you never know.
It's in his blood, and you know what? He's never going to get rid of the wrestling thing in his head. And if
How'd you snag the Hulkster?
He could kick some serious ass in the ring.
Wait a second. How'd you snag the Hulkster? This guy was getting major poontang. I mean, what?
He was out there with Stallone.
How'd you trap him?
Well, a lot of people thought that I was one of the girls sitting on his shoulder in the ring in the Rocky movie.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, and I was just some LA girl. We met in the bar.
She picked you up in the bar?
No, she made him jealous. She danced with his friend.
Hold on a second. Let's get the real story. Did you give it up the first night to the Hulkster? Be honest.
Actually, no.
The
second night.
The second night. Did you know that, kids?
Oh my God, no! Now I do.
You're bad.
When you run into a guy that was 335 pounds, and he's tan, and
you had to have him. You had to have him.
Not going to say no. And I remember driving my Corvette home up the 405. Telling myself, oh my God,
so you did
I'm so guilty. But then again, it was like I can say I slept with a giant.
Impressive.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, and it was good the first time, huh?
Oh yeah.
He knocked your socks off.
Well, I thought I was going to suffocate. I mean,
kids, wait a second. Come here. Wait, we're hearing some stories. Why did you? Oh, I see.
Oh, boy.
You couldn't breathe so good.
Well,
she choked.
Sort of in like a pretzel position.
Yeah.
Wow.
My girlfriend
like
has the same problem.
He knows a few
See,
holes.
Brooke, mom and dad,
I know,
little
they set a good
hypocritical
example,
here.
huh?
Little hypocritical here. Wow. You had to learn to breathe through your nose when you were with the Hulkster. I bet.
That's brutal.
Now, are you able to talk to Brooke about sex? Because the Hulkster can't even handle the hint of it.
Yes, I am very open with the kids about sex. And
so you don't tell,
everything else.
You don't lay in bed at night with the Hulkster and say, listen, I got to break the news to you. She's done a little more than kissing.
Yeah, we talked about it.
So he does know what's going on.
What do you mean I know?
I really think
what
that
don't I
she is
fucking
still
know?
a virgin.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
No, I mean that she may or may not have kissed guys.
No,
I mean,
more
I'm
than
sure
kiss.
she's
That's
not
what I'm
gonna tell
saying.
me every detail, and I don't want to have.
What does he know? What are you implying that he knows?
That she's probably kissed and maybe, step two, maybe a little petting. I don't really know. I know that she's a virgin.
Oh, please.
Hey, you know what? She talks about her sexual encounters with me.
Yeah,
she
knows more
does.
about
What?
me than-
Oh yeah.
She does tell you? How many guys were you with before the Hulkster?
Not that many.
You had a couple. And you tell your daughter about it?
You didn't tell her that you were a virgin when you got married?
I feel like if there's something that can be learned by it, then it's something that I would share
Teach
with
me.
her. But I don't just talk, shop with her just to talk about it.
Wow. Any other famous guys, or was the Hulkster the first?
He's it.
The first, I bet, the only.
He's the one and only.
You weren't with Andre the Giant or anything, right?
Oh, no. God.
I don't want to hear anyone was passing you around. You seem like a nice woman. You really do. So you're
Look how
saying...
uncomfortable he is on the couch.
I love this. So you're telling me...
I'm scared he's going to snap.
This is worse than any bout he's ever been.
Yeah,
So
he's
the
sitting there. He's
Hulkster-
like,
So you're telling me the family dynamic is the Hulkster's sort of in the dark about Brooke and the reality of what Brooke is up to.
No,
you and
I'm
Brooke
not
can
up
talk.
to bad things.
No, when
I'm
you're
saying
with a
that he
man,
does know what's going on.
when you're with a young boy, you go to your mother and you report what happened. In other words, you can talk to her.
Did you report to your mom?
As a matter of fact, I did.
You did?
When I used to have sex with girls, I didn't go home to my mother. I go, Ma, I think I might have caught VD. Would you take me to a doctor? She goes, most kids would go on their own and not tell their mothers. I go,
Right. Why are you dragging me into this?
I go, hey, I'm getting some. I'm proud of it. Who else am I going to brag to?
I think what's going on is Brooke is an angel and Nick is like having orgies, running guns to Cuba. He's got
There you go.
he's running a crime ring.
Yeah. Does
going nuts.
I think it's pretty established that Nick is definitely a partier.
Sexually active.
I found condoms in his wallet and one was open.
Really?
So what are you going to make of that?
Look at you.
Yeah, Nick has this long ass story to just make it seem like he's innocent.
Do you when you party with these girls, are you drinking and stuff? Are you up to that yet?
No.
No. But you tell your dad what you do, and Brooke tells her mom what she does.
Me and my dad talk.
Yeah. He doesn't care what you do.
Oh, no, he wants to hear every word, and he's giving him a pat on the back.
Have you had two? Let me ask you something. I'm going to ask you a direct question. Have you had two girls at the same time at 15?
No.
Good, because you got to have something to look forward to,
Yeah,
brother.
really.
A good excuse for an open condom is just say you're a drug mule.
Hulk looks like he's going to throw up. Hulk, you look like you're going to throw up. When you put the family on
He's so
TV,
nervous, Howard.
when you put the family on TV, it all comes spilling out. That's the thing.
Oh no, when
The
you
show
put the
is
family
good.
on Howard Stern,
I think
that's when it all comes out.
I think your couch is soaking wet from me sweating.
Well, you have to understand now, when you have a family conference, we're involved.
That's right. We know.
I think it's just better to be on the know. I mean, you've got teenagers. It's better to just be on the cool side, try to talk to them about stuff.
Time for Bubba to defend himself. Bubba says he has to defend himself.
Defend himself? Who's attacking him?
Bubba, who attacked you? All right, go ahead.
You guys called me. I didn't call you guys.
I didn't know that.
Again.
I didn't know. I don't know why they
always make me look like a groupie and shit. I didn't do nothing wrong.
Uncle Bubba, I miss you.
Yeah, this is a real stiff interview, boy. I really feel for my friend Hogan right now because you guys are just killing him.
No, we're not. Come on, we're just trying to find out about the family. Bubba, what about you? Are you attracted to Brooke? She calls you Uncle Bubba, but I know what kind of pervert you are.
Yeah, if her name
Brooke,
wasn't Hogan.
When Brooke is walking around in skimpy outfits, which I see, I'm surprised Hulkster allows the skimpy outfits.
That is so out of bounds, brother.
Why is that out of bounds? It's possible. It happens.
Well, I mean, no, I've never, ever looked at her in that manner. In fact, we'll be working out and stuff, and we'll tell her to go, Brooke, go put some more clothes on or something like that.
You say that?
Yeah, they actually tell me, like, when I'm working out and stuff and I have a sports bra on and some little hoochie pants, they're like, go put on a sweatshirt and stuff. Bubba's like, never been
Why
like
are they
that.
having dirty thoughts? Is Bubba having dirty thoughts? Why is he telling
Oh, my God, Howard.
Bubba,
You're noticing how great she looks. She's a very attractive girl.
I mean, as a matter of fact, we'll be working out, and sometimes we'll say, Brooke, you're really getting your body in shape, and you're looking good, and and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm 40 years old, and she's like my kid. I mean, I've hung out with them for 10 years. I've seen her grow up. I don't even, I wouldn't look at your daughter.
Well, you asked the question earlier, Howard. You said, what would Hulk think of Bubba dating Brooke?
Oh, forget it.
Hulk, could that ever happen?
No, that would never happen.
You would kill Bubba, right?
I wouldn't kill Bubba. Bubba's...
You guys, Howard, you're even...
Let Hulk answer the question. Let him answer the question.
First off, Bubba has more respect for my family than that. Number two, Bubba's not like that.
But things happen. He could one day fall in love.
I guess I know a different Bubba.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all about hot young chicks, but not ones that are practically related to me.
All right. Okay.
No, we were reading a story the other day. James Woods is dating the 19 or 20-year-old daughter of one of his best friends, one of his golf buddies.
Is that the one he brought on this show?
Yes. Yeah. I was at Scores one night, and all of a sudden, this guy, James Brooks, what's his name?
James Woods.
James Woods, not James Brooks. James Woods. You know the actor.
Yeah, he came on the show acting like he was taking her around for interviews and stuff.
He's just showing her the
Talking about how
ropes.
hot she was.
Exactly. So I'm at Scores, and she's there with him, and I go, what's going on here, man? He goes, no. He goes, you got it all wrong. This is my friend's daughter. She's 19 years old. She's a kid. I'm 50-some years old. I'm not going to, exactly. I'm like, this guy's full of it. What I read in the Inquirer. He's dating her.
Yeah.
You can't trust Bubba around your daughter.
My son, Tyler, I wouldn't mind him hooking up with Brooke. It'd be a little bit of an older situation, but that's about
I love little Tiz.
I don't know if I want Bubba hanging out at the Hogan's house.
I wouldn't
You guys have got me so fun as a pervert. I cannot believe it. We're supposed to be family. I'm supposed to be part of your family too, Howard.
Yeah, Brooke, you got to cover up around Bubba. That's all I'm telling you.
Uncle Bubba?
Uncle Bubba.
Not the Macho Man.
Uncle Bubba?
Uncle Bubba's a man.
You said you'd always protect me, right?
Right.
They asked me if I had sex. What should I say to that?
No. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth that, even though you look very beautiful and you look like you're 25, that
Stop stuttering. Stop stuttering.
I don't believe any of this, by the way. I think Brooke is a young lady. It's not abnormal for a 17-year-old girl to have had some sexual experiences. I'm not saying all the way. And I think we're being unrealistic here.
You know what?
I think I'm being realistic, too, Howard, in the fact that, you have no idea how tight of a ship Terry and Linda. Now, there are some double standards. Nick gets away with everything in the world. But
that's a bad message.
Seriously, Brooke does not... She's like Rapunzel up in that room. She very rarely gets out.
Thank you.
She climbs down her own hair to get out of the room.
Linda and Terry run a tight ship when it comes to Brooke just because of how beautiful she is and how sick, dudes that are...
Bubba, didn't you tell me that the Hulkster taught you how to shave your bunghole?
Not my... Well, he didn't teach me how to shave my asshole, but he showed me how to shave my back with a stick.
Okay, all right. I want to make sure I had that
And
right.
you're using the stick for your nether region as well.
I do have Tyrannosaurus Rex type arms, but I can still reach my bag pretty well with my regular arms. I don't need a stick.
All right, Bubba, thank you.
Bye, guys.
See ya. It's Bubba the Love Sponge. Well, we're taking some calls. Now, listen, you got to watch the show, The Hogans, on Hogan Knows Best. It's a very good show. I am a fan
love
of the show.
You were talking it up for a long time.
I'll tell you what. I didn't think I'd like the show. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I cared. I tuned it in the very first show. And I was hooked. I liked the family. I saw a different side of Hulk Hogan. I saw the real side of his life. And I liked it. I liked getting that glimpse.
And I have to say, I have the feeling that they're a strong enough unit that this reality show is not going to kill them. You know, most families have gone through hell when they put cameras on their lives, but I think you guys will be all right.
I love the Hogan show, the way you always get over on that Nazi guy and you escape.
Wrong show.
That's a different show.
That's very funny.
Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. No, but is it wreaking havoc on your life having the cameras there? It's got to be bizarre. I'm sorry. And do you find yourself playing up to the camera?
The first 6 shows were tough, you know, because I kind of used the cameras to my advantage. I'd get the last word in with my wife and then run, and she couldn't bitch me out, you know.
Right.
But then we actually got to be friends with the production company. Like, we all have our own cameraman and our own little sound guy with us, and Nick hangs out with Chris, and I hang out with Scott, and she hangs out with Liz, and it's just like
seems like
we become friends with them now. So our guard is way down.
And it seems like that's good. And it seems like the plan at first was to help Brooke's career by doing the reality show, and now it's sort of turned into its whole thing. What about the cameramen coming into your room, Brooke, and seeing you changing and stuff?
You know what?
Oh,
actually,
shit.
Josh, remember Josh, Mom?
What happened
Josh,
there?
you know, he's a very hot guy, like really hot guy and everything. And,
there goes Hulk again.
I had a crush on him and stuff, but
no one's seen him for 2 years, this Josh.
But,
Josh is dead now, man.
Josh is getting fired.
Digging up the yard.
He was very cute and stuff until he accidentally didn't knock and just completely walked in on me,
And
butt
you were
naked.
Nude? You were naked.
Nude.
Did you know that, Hulk?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, Dad, I told you.
You said that you had your back to him, and he just opened and closed the door.
Well, and then it happened again and again, and he kept walking in, and I'm like, Josh, you gotta knock. I mean, you're hot and everything, but I don't think my dad would stand for it.
What was that, Hulk?
I'm gonna kill that fucking Josh.
Something new every day.
Wait a second.
He's always coming up and sucking up to me too.
Well, listen.
Of course, that's the move.
Maybe it was an accident.
He has this cute little innocent smile.
A repeated accident? She says it happened over.
It did. You know what? I think he liked seeing me nude.
You think he might have liked it?
Yeah, you
I
think?
think he liked it.
So when he walked in the room, would you would be completely disrobed and he'd see it all?
Completely. And he'd, open and then he'd be like, oh, sorry, boom, and then close the door and stuff.
Wow.
But he was polite about it. But,
well, of course.
it had to come to an end or else I knew his life would be taken by my father.
Right, so you protected him. And did you like that? Did you like him seeing you nude? Doesn't seem like you're not that upset about it.
No, but I know he liked it.
He did. Wow.
It sounds like an ugly kid would be in jail by now.
You might have told your dad if he was a creepy little guy. Well, Hulk, that's part of the problem with these camera guys being in the house. I mean, you got to accept it.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
They just told us they censored something the other day.
What'd they censor?
Oh, no, on the commercial, the Calvin Klein looking commercial.
No, we had the anniversary episode,
Oh.
and we went out and I took her dancing, which is something I never do, trying to fix a few things I screwed up. And
you screwed up with your wife?
Yeah, kind of. And then we went out dancing.
What did you screw up?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yes, it does. What did he do? Wait a second. Hold it.
What happened?
We were drinking some Cristal stuff, and I guess the cameras in the car, after we got a good buzz on, we kind of didn't care or forgot about it or thought they were off, and they said that she really hung on to the unit, on the way back. Yeah, that's what
Mom made her reach for it.
With your hand?
Yeah, they told us that the other night at dinner, the
Like I
VH1
groped you?
people, that they had to censor it, remember?
Can't they put a little...
Brad Abrams told us they had to censor it.
Oh, my God, the footage already went to New York?
Yeah, and they had to censor it.
Oh, my God.
You were grabbing your husband's package on camera?
Oh, I didn't know it. Well,
Wow.
you see, you forget the cameras are there. That's why it's in their favor, not ours.
Yeah, they do that on purpose.
I got to tell you
Gets you
something. You seem like a very sexual woman to me.
Thank you.
And I like it.
I think.
He
likes it.
I like it.
Keeps
Never
him
mind what he likes.
where he needs to stay.
Would you guys ever do anything wild, bring another girl into the bedroom or anything? I mean, I don't like to bring that up in front of the kids.
No.
You would never
wouldn't.
do it. You would never share your
I'm
man.
sure he would probably love it, but we have certain ethics. I mean, we just don't go there.
Oh, please.
Hulk, let me broker this. Let me
Sweet
play your
up,
cards right,
baby.
sit quiet a minute, I'll broker this for you. He's embarrassed to
Dude,
say.
my kids are in the room, brother.
All right, kids, you got to leave. No,
Dad,
I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah. I was going to broker something for you here.
No, man, we're not into that.
All right, okay. Sure you're not.
Yeah, the whole time that he's been Hulk Hogan, he's always been appealing to kids, and a lot of what our livelihood is based on his image.
Wholesome image.
And so even if on a personal level it was something that we might want to do, business level, we can't do that. We don't want to.
Well, we're not going to do it in the middle of the rain.
Can you go to a strip club, or would that be bad for your business?
No, we've done that.
You can go.
Yeah.
Won't ruin the image.
I don't know. We're grown ups.
Well, I mean, they don't advertise
The
it.
two of you go together?
Yeah.
Kids, did you know that?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
They go out, yeah.
Wow. You guys get lap dances?
He buys them for me sometimes. I buy
Really?
him some.
No, that's hot.
It's a little weird.
There's nothing strange about that.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. I don't have any problem with that. All right, let's go to a couple of questions for the Hogans. Kyle, go ahead. You're on the air in Orlando.
Wow.
Hey, now, what's happening, Hulk?
What's up,
Hey, I had
brother?
a question for Hulk, but for Brooke first. I don't know if your mom and dad told you or not, but, technically, if you get tagged in the seat, you're still a virgin, right?
Oh, stop that. We don't want to go there.
goodness.
Hey, come on. This is kids. Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your real question, or I'm going to hang up
Hey,
on you?
I had heard that they
Is your name Josh?
Hey, Josh.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I had heard that the guy Don Vito from Viva La Bam touched Brooke's boob on the Grammy carpet, and Hulk had to beat him up. Is that true?
Is that true?
True.
It is true.
Don
Now,
Vito.
what happened? Someone from BAM?
Viva la
Don,
Bam.
Viva la Bam.
who is Don to Bam? Like
That's his uncle.
His uncle, right?
Not the dad.
This
the
guy's
twins,
crazy.
but the uncle.
Yeah. He
He's
touched your
crazy.
boob?
And
You're
I
a kid.
was with my hairdresser too, and he was like, "Oh my God, let me touch him," and he lets his tongue hang out and everything, and he gets all crazy.
How old were you at the time? 16?
16.
That's wrong, man.
He's a big fat guy. too.
I
He's
was
like
a little
creepy-looking
bit
guy.
shocked.
That's outrageous.
I was like, "Oh my God."
So you told your dad, and he went over and beat him up?
Yeah, my dad got in a little tiff with him.
What'd
We
you
made
do
a
to him?
sneak attack on TRL.
He was drunk, pretty drunk, and I just grabbed him and whacked him in the side of the head. He was bleeding down the side of his head. Yeah, he was.
I
Remember?
bet
He was.
Yeah. Well, I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She might look like she's 20, but she's 16.
You don't
17
grab.
now,
you're
almost
17.
18.
You don't
Almost.
grab no matter what.
That's right. I don't
I
care
have
how
to keep
old
bringing
they
that
are.
up.
Hey, I got a question for Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you. How did that guy, the Grammy Crasher 6, how did he become your fashion consultant?
Yeah.
He's not.
But he was.
He's
he
a
wanted
Grammy
to
crasher.
be.
But he was on the show with you guys as like your consultant.
He was a really big cheerleader, for me and my music and everything, and he was really cool. And then he kind of took it too far.
Let me ask you something. You grew up in Tampa.
Yes.
You a poor guy growing up?
Yes.
Could you ever have imagined that this career and wrestling would have become this big?
Never. I mean, if you saw the house I grew up in, you'd freak out.
And were you one of these guys had like sort of no plan, didn't know where you were going in life?
Exactly.
And I mean, this thing just sort of happened. And like, what do you think would have happened if wrestling didn't happen in your life?
I don't know, but where I grew up in Port Tampa, South Tampa, it was like the hood for white people. It was a bad area.
Right.
And all the guys I grew up with are either dead, or they're still in construction, or they're no teeth. I mean, it's a weird area.
He
That's
used to
what-
load the
Bubba's-
docks.
I used to work on the docks.
Did you ever
loading
take your
ships.
kids there and say, listen, this is real life for me, and this
Oh,
is
yeah.
what it was like? And
Oh, yeah. If you saw the house that I grew up in, you wouldn't believe how small it was.
Your parents still alive?
My mom is.
Yeah, you able to take care of her?
Yes.
You get along with her?
Yes.
You should have her on the show. She's crazy.
She's nuts.
She is crazy.
Wild woman.
Gone.
Oh my God.
Really?
Every
She goes to
weekend.
Hoot- she's 87
what?
years old, and her favorite place is Hooters.
Oh, Hooters.
Hooters.
Oh man,
Wow.
that woman is crazy.
She smokes a pack a day, and she's just zany and
Dances
crazy
on
as ever.
tables,
Yeah.
everything.
No.
So you're saying it's a miracle. I mean, sometimes you close your eyes and you just don't believe this all happened to you, right?
Yeah, it's crazy to think
Still
about.
pinching yourself.
We have a lot in common. I used to work on the docks before I discovered working out. And,
There you go. Yeah.
getting in shape.
And what do you eat a super healthy diet?
Pretty much. Yeah, I eat good food. I train every day.
Still got washboard abs?
No.
You
hell
don't?
no. I got one big ab.
One ab. I've never had
I
it.
drink a lot of beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing story, though, right? When you come from nothing and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
this thing takes off.
But he paid his dues, let me tell
I
you.
showed
I
the
know.
kids.
Stories.
Wow.
I showed the kids where I grew up in the bedroom that my brother and I had to sleep in. We had to sleep on the floor because you couldn't put two beds in the room.
Where's your brother now?
He passed away.
Young.
Yeah, he passed away about 12 years ago. He was one of Zito's buddies out in San Francisco with the Hells Angels and all that
Oh,
stuff.
really?
I was going to ask you, do you ever get into a gang or anything?
Never.
You're lucky that way, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of that stuff around.
Yeah.
He definitely had that Port Tampa fight in him, though. When I met him, some guy tried to ask him for an autograph, and he came up to him, and he took his hand and spun his head towards him. Wow. I have never seen a guy move so fast. Hulkster.
My dad, when that switch turns, he's like
next thing I know,
killing
his
machine.
little guy's laid out on the floor. His little
Wow, you've been in real fights.
all over the place.
You've been in real fights.
My dad's thumb was halfway down his eye socket.
Oh my goodness!
That was the day before lawsuits and stuff. You could still kind
of beat up
have
people.
Have you ever gotten to kill a guy in your real life?
Oh God!
What do you mean?
I mean, have you ever taken him with your fists and beat a man to death?
No, never. I did hit a guy so hard in Japan because we had a problem in the ring that he didn't get out of the hospital for a couple of weeks. He went in like a coma, and then they took my passport away, wouldn't let me leave the country, had death threats, and it was weird.
If you don't mind me asking, how'd your brother die? I mean, was that gang related?
No, he had some problems with drugs and stuff like that.
Oh.
Were you on good terms when he died, or was it like you guys couldn't even be together because he had taken?
We were in pretty good terms, and we had a few little problems. But
was he jealous of your success?
I don't think so. I think he was so whacked out with the stuff he was into, he didn't have a clue.
Probably could have been a great wrestler. Was he a big guy like you?
Yeah, he was. We were about the same size, but he didn't understand that it was show business. He was probably a little too aggressive and violent.
He'd really hurt people.
Yeah.
Like he went in there and really wrestled.
Yeah, I don't think he could have, adapted.
Oh, dear.
Sad, though, right? It makes you sad.
Yeah, it's a bad deal, but, it is what it is.
Right.
Now, when you dropped a Belzer on his head, now why'd you do that?
That
was crazy.
This was crazy. This was before we kind of like made the final transition that, okay, it's an exposition. We were still trying to say, what do you mean it's fake, Howard? We still had that mentality.
Right.
And it was right before WrestleMania 1, and Mr. T was stirring the shit, And we had worked all day long. We'd been to Philadelphia. We'd been to all these shows. We'd seen all these kids at Skip School that Mr. T got mad about. It was a benefit thing. We'd been running ragged with that Vince McMahon promotional tour. We finally went back to New York, got into the Helmsley Palace, finally got into our rooms, and we got a call actually from Linda McMahon that there were 12 kids in wheelchairs that were waiting to see us at Richard Belzer's show Hot Properties. And Mr. T goes, I'm not going. That's it. I'm done. I'm sick. I'm pissed off. So I said, all right, brother. You just rest and I'll go. So when he heard I was going, he went with me, and we got there. There were no kids in wheelchairs.
Oh.
Wow.
And Mr. T was really upset. He used to have that thingy bend, that parking meter thing.
Yeah.
Long story short, he put T on first. Mr. T wouldn't talk. Then they went to commercial break, brought me out, and Belzer said, hey, wrestling's fake, isn't it? And I went, whatever, brother. He goes, put me in a wrestling hold, and I wouldn't do it. And then the band started playing that music. Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
I looked at my wife in the audience. She's going,
I knew.
Yeah,
I knew.
don't do it.
And I said, all right, let's do this. So when I touched him, he took a pratfall, made the audience laugh. So I just went ahead and put a front chin lock on him. And with about 5 pounds of pressure, you can make somebody pass out. So I gave him about 55.
Oh.
But anyway.
You just saw him drop like jelly. And then he woke up
Anyway.
goofy. He was still goofy. When he
Something you regret doing.
Yeah, it should have never been done. It was a bad mistake.
Dripping out the back of his head.
Easy, take it easy. Then there was a John
But
Stossel.
what did you say? Wait, what? What?
Blood was dripping out of the back of his head.
The John Stossel thing's hilarious.
When Belzer passed out, he hit the floor, but he jumped right back up. Like a half a second.
Spaced out.
He looked right to
we'll be right back.
He went to the handheld camera. We'll be right back. And I was standing behind him. Blood was just squirting out the back of his head.
Did you ever get to say to him, look, man, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I apologize.
You did.
Yeah.
I would have called him up and said, wah. I'm bleeding from my head. Wah.
Yeah, that was a bad move. I was sorry about that. But
yeah.
then the John Stossel thing, he got in a little tiff.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Remember that? Yeah. That was so funny, that
clip.
What
was that?
Who was the guy who slapped him?
David Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got crazy for a while, huh?
Oh, it was nuts back then.
Well, Stossel accused him, wrestling of being fake. And the guy said, this is an open-hand slap. Does this seem fake? And he just whacks him on the side of the head.
Yeah. Stossel went right down.
That was crazy.
Hey, you guys are powerful guys. You're strong dudes,
What could you do to JD over there?
Hey, do you ever think if you had been born in a different time, you could have been like one of the great gladiators, like a Roman in the Roman Empire, and really killed guys, beat the crap out of them.
Wrestle lions.
Wrestle lions, bite people's fingers off. I mean, it could have really been something, right?
I keep
You're a
thinking
powerful man.
I had an opportunity to play football, and I kind of passed on it because I was this big wrestling nut. So I kind of think not about that stuff. I sometimes think if I had played football, it might have been more fun, but I think I'd probably been beat up and hurt worse than I am now.
I think he would have made a good pirate.
shorter,
Doesn't he look like he probably existed back in the pirate days?
Yeah, you'd be a good
A
pirate.
pirate.
I tell you, if you boarded my ship, I'd get the hell off.
Hey, he did
Take the goddamn ship. You know what I mean? Like in a different age without law and order?
Yeah.
Like the Hulk might have ruled a small empire.
Yeah, can't you just picture him like running in a chariot with a bunch of fleet of horses?
You know the crazy thing? If you had picked football, you'd be way poorer than you are now. And probably in way worse shape.
And you'd probably be all broken up from it, too.
Yeah.
And he would have had a very short career and been completely forgotten.
All right, well, we covered the sex. We got some of it out of the way. I think there's more. Next time, Brooke, come in yourself. I'll find out everything.
So much fun.
Oh, well?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. See you.
That's brutal.
Hey, how'd it go in there, guys?
Dude, I'm drenched. My back soaked.
Oh my God,
Drenched.
yeah, Dad.
I'm drenched.
Sweating like crazy.
A lot of personal family stories came out in there.
That was ridiculous.
A lot of personal stuff.
Is it embarrassing talking about that in front of your dad? And
It's embarrassing talking about just sex, period, with my family, with my parents.
Man, that was tough.
Like any kid, but whatever. Next time I'm coming in alone.
Too much information.
That was so funny.
That was brutal.
Brooke, you and Nick also brought up some stories about your parents. What was that like for you guys?
You know, people know that they made babies, so why
It
not
wasn't
share
a
the
learning
details?
experience because I didn't know that they heard us having sex, and I don't think they knew that he can fold me up like a pretzel. So it was kind of weird. It got really weird in there.
Great, very good, Linda.
Very kinky.
Overall, though, did you guys have a good time in there, Seth?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
a lot
Howard
of power.
Johnson,
It was
man.
fun.
He's such a pro. It's ridiculous, man.
And Bubba's on the bandwagon now, serious, and it's just a hot.
I understand why he's where he is now. He's a pro.
He's the best.
It's unreal. I definitely get it.